Hey there, I'm Apple Creator from Investing Simple. In this video, we're providing an in-depth look at penny stocks on Robinhood. So Robinhood is an app that attracts a lot of younger or newer investors. They're a little bit more risk hungry. They're looking for those faster returns. And so a lot of them turn to penny stocks. Additionally, penny stocks have a much lower barrier to entry. I mean, they're trading at only a couple dollars, maybe even less than a couple dollars, depending on the particular penny stock. So this makes them a particularly attractive investment for Robinhood investors. So in this video, we're diving deep into exactly how they work, which ones you can buy on Robinhood, and what you're going to want to watch out for if you do decide to participate in penny stock trading on the Robinhood app. So be sure to stay tuned. Now, first off, so that we're all on the same page, let's start off by defining what a penny stock actually is. So the common definition of a penny stock is any stock that trades at under $5 per share. Now, that's not technically in the pennies, but it is a very low stock price to be trading at. And typically the companies that you're looking at who have penny stocks are what are called micro cap companies. So this is a term used to define the market capitalization of a company. And micro cap tends to range from about $50 million to about $300 million in market cap, which kind of just means the overall size of the company. So these are generally smaller companies, not your Amazons, Apples, etc. These are more smaller companies, less well known, that you might not recognize the name if you heard it. These are the ones that are going to be trading in that below $5 range for the most part. Now, it's important to note here that just because a stock has a low price does not mean it is necessarily a good deal. And just because a stock has a high price doesn't necessarily mean it is a bad deal. The stock price is, for the most part, pretty arbitrary. I mean, companies can decide to do stock splits whenever they want to create more stock at less of a value, or lesser stock at more value. They can do reverse stock splits. So don't read too far into the actual price of a stock. What you should be looking at is either the fundamental analysis of the company, the underlying management, the potential for future growth, or looking at the technical analysis of the charting patterns and things of that nature, less so the stock price, because the stock price doesn't actually give you that much information in the grand scheme of things. But one thing you should know about stocks that do trend in that penny stock range is that they do tend to be fairly volatile when compared to the stock market as a whole. And that's why they tend to be pretty attractive to younger investors looking for more of a thrill, because these stocks tend to experience more dramatic price swings, both upwards and downwards. So people see that, they say, oh, I can make potentially a lot of money with penny stocks. But at the same time, the other side of that coin is you could potentially lose a lot of money with penny stocks as well. So to dive into the risks of penny stock investing very quickly, there are two main risks that you're going to want to watch out for. The first of which is liquidity. So liquidity is the idea that you can sell out of a position when you want. There's a very fluid market of buyers and sellers of a particular item. So real estate, for example, is not very liquid. It takes a long time to sell a house, but a stock, on the other hand, can be traded very quickly intraday if it is a stock that has a lot of trading volume. Now, penny stocks tend to have lesser trading volume, so even if you get to a point where you've made some money on this penny stock and you want to sell it, it's not always guaranteed that there's going to be a buyer on the other end waiting to buy that penny stock from you. So that's something to keep in mind. The other thing to keep in mind is that because there is less volume with these stocks, they're more susceptible to what are called pump and dump schemes, which is essentially when some kind of influencer or celebrity or some kind of guru pumps up the price of a stock to a bunch of unsuspecting victims. They're telling all these victims, hey, go buy this stock. It's about to pop off. It's a great investment right now. So all of these newer investors flock into the stock. That pumps the price up, and then the guru sells all their shares, makes the thing come crashing down. And so it's very easy to fall for one of these things if you're a newer trader because you don't know what to look out for. So make sure that if you see a penny stock whose price is shooting up, make sure you know why that stock price is increasing. And if there's no real fundamentals underneath that, if there's no real reason for why the stock price is going up, except that someone's telling you, oh, buy this stock, it's going up, you might want to watch out because you might be unknowingly a victim of what's called a pump and dump scheme. Now, on the other side of the coin, there are some serious rewards to be had from penny stocks, and that is because, like I said earlier, those big swings can be both in the upwards direction and the downwards direction. And so if you're able to set effective entry and exit points using technical analysis, you might be able to capitalize on those large upward price swings. So now let's talk about how to set yourself best up to potentially profit from penny stock trading. Now, before you do purchase a penny stock, you need to have a plan, because if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. And that is so very true when it comes to any kind of stock trading. You need to have a plan of both when you are going to buy and when you are going to sell. And you need to have a selling plan whether it goes up or down, because if you don't have a plan for what happens when the stock starts going down, then you might panic sell at a bad time, you might hold it for too long. And so you need to really think about, okay, at what point am I going to cut my losses, and at what point am I going to take my winnings. So you need to make sure you have those things defined before you actually press that buy button and purchase a penny stock on Robinhood. And in general, it's a pretty good idea, we believe, to start off by paper trading. And paper trading is essentially trading with fake money. So when you're not actually using real dollars, you're just using some fake paper, that is a great way to get started with kind of figuring out how the markets work, how penny stocks tend to move. And since you can't paper trade on Robinhood, our number one recommendation for that is Webull, which we'll have a video to up here. But with Webull, you can practice trading without real money. It's a great way to kind of get your feet wet without actually putting your hard-earned cash on the line. But coming back around to Robinhood, does Robinhood actually offer penny stocks? Well, yes, they do. They offer hundreds of penny stocks on their platform. Any penny stock that is listed on the New York Stock Exchange, or NYSE, or on the NASDAQ exchange are available on the Robinhood platform. Now with these exchanges, they're going to have slightly stricter requirements for getting listed on them, so you can know that the companies that are listed there had to go through a bit more of a stringent process than the companies that are listed on other stock exchanges out there that aren't so well known and aren't so well established. So that's one thing to keep in mind. And then the other thing to keep in mind is that on Robinhood, the penny stocks range anywhere from about 10 cents on the low end all the way up to, like we said, $5 on the high end. And there are hundreds of penny stocks to choose from on the platform. We're going to show you in just a second how to actually find them, because there's a way to, in the Robinhood platform, find exactly all of the penny stocks that are listed, and you can pick the ones that you want to trade. Now, before we do that, I want to cover one common question that people have when it comes to penny stocks on Robinhood, and that is if you can buy penny stocks that are listed on the over-the-counter exchange or the pink sheets. Now, this is another stock exchange that is not as, like I said, well established as the New York Stock Exchange or the NASDAQ, and the answer to this question is no, you cannot buy over-the-counter or pink sheet penny stocks on the Robinhood platform. And in a way, this is kind of good because Robinhood tailors towards beginners. And if you're a beginner, it's probably not a great idea to get involved with these even more volatile penny stocks, because on the over-the-counter exchange, the market is even more fragmented. There's even less liquidity. There's even more susceptibility to pump and dump schemes. So it's kind of good to have those guardrails in place of like, okay, you can trade penny stocks, but only if they're on the New York Stock Exchange or the NASDAQ, because if you get outside of those, that's when things start to get a little bit dicey. But now let's talk about how to actually find penny stocks on Robinhood. So we're going to dive actually into my computer and do a quick screen share so I can show you exactly how to do it. Because what you need to know is that if you're looking for penny stocks on Robinhood, the only way to see a full list of them all at once is to use the computer desktop version of Robinhood at robinhood.com, and it can't actually do it on the app. So let's dive into my computer. I'll show you exactly how that's done. All right, so here we are in my Robinhood account, and I'm going to show you exactly how to find penny stocks on the Robinhood platform. So we're going to scroll down here to popular lists. We're going to press show more, and then we're going to be able to see all the different sectors that are available on the Robinhood platform. Now, what we're going to want to do is pick whichever sector we're looking for penny stocks in. So I'll just go to 100 most popular, because there are plenty of penny stocks here. We'll go to this little filter guy, and we will set the max price to $5. We'll press enter, and boom, now we have a list right here of a couple dozen penny stocks that we can look at. But you can go through and whichever sector you're looking for, just set that max price to $5, and then you'll be able to see whatever penny stocks are available in that particular sector. Now, you should definitely make sure to do your homework before you jump into any particular penny stock, but once you do decide on whatever penny stock you want to buy, you can do so either from your computer on the Robinhood platform or from your phone on the Robinhood app, whichever one is the most convenient for you. So now that you know how to actually find penny stocks on the Robinhood platform, let's talk about how to manage your risk. Okay, so you find an investment you want to make, you're like, okay, I think this penny stock has some potential, I really want to go for it. Let's talk about how to manage your risk, because like I said earlier, you want to set a selling price to take your profits and a selling price to cut your losses before you actually invest in that particular penny stock. So let's give you a quick example of how to actually do that. Now, let's say you find a $3 penny stock that you think has the potential to increase to $4. Well, that might be a potential buying opportunity for you, because you think, okay, this penny stock is undervalued based on either the charts or the fundamentals, whatever you choose to look at for this particular stock. So let's say you decide to buy 100 shares of that particular penny stock for $300, because on Robinhood there are no trading commissions, so you're just paying that flat $300, and now you've got yourself 100 shares of this stock that you hope is going to increase to $4 per share, making you a sweet $100 profit. But let's say you want to set your loss point at $2.75. So if your stock price goes down from $3 to $2.75, you're going to cut your losses at $25 and just call it a day there. So what you would do is you could set a stop loss at $2.75, and if your stock crashed below $2.75, what Robinhood would do is automatically execute a sell for you at the best available price once it got below $2.75. So you could cut your losses there. And then what you would also want to do is set a price target for the top, okay? So when it gets to a certain point, you are going to take your profits, and in this case, it would be $4. So once it hits that $4 price that you think it should be at, you're gonna sell, take your profits, and then move on to your next trade. So that's a quick example of how you could potentially set a penny stock trade. Most people only think about what to do if the stock price goes up. So it's also a good idea to think about, okay, if the stock price goes down, what am I going to do to potentially cut my losses if that is the case? So overall, when it comes to buying penny stocks on Robinhood and the question of whether you can actually do that, the answer is yes, absolutely. You can buy penny stocks on Robinhood, hundreds of them, and they make it very easy for you to get started trading these penny stocks. However, there is significant risk that comes along with investing in penny stocks, so make sure you do your homework before you invest and watch out for any pump and dump schemes. If you hear any guru telling you about the next hot penny stock, be sure to be a little bit wary, have some skepticism, and look into it a little bit before you just take their word for it and throw them a couple $100s. Also, make sure you do define your goals, do your own research, and if you fail to plan, remember you plan to fail. So make sure you do not do that and you have a solid plan before you get into any penny stock trades. Now, if you want to learn more about penny stocks on Robinhood, we have a full comprehensive guide going on over at our website, investingsimple.com. The best way to find that is to head on over to Google, search for Robinhood penny stocks, and click on the link for investingsimple.com. We will see you over there.